All right. Okay.
Okay.
I believe it says we're live.
I just got the ding.
Ding.
Fries are done.
I work at Burger King. Put this out there to everybody. Hmm. Hmm. This is the tedious part, actually.
Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
Well, it's just having to go to each different app.
You need Woof.
I do need a Wolf account.
Mm-hmm.
If only somebody would try and do that again. And hello everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined this week on the other end of the tin cannon string by CJ of Team All Zeros.
Yeah.
And yeah, so did something happen in wrestling this week? I feel like this is going to be a short show. I feel like nothing happened in the slightest, and
Yeah.
we should just be done. We should just
Super quiet. Nothing going
yeah,
on
nothing
week.
really going on. I uh, I got this T-shirt in a pro. Well, it's actually on the channel when I unboxed this T-shirt. Do you like it? Do you like it? People are saying I should wear CM Punk T-shirts this week, so this is the only CM Punk T-shirt I have, and I didn't buy it on my own. It was a grab bag. Before everybody calls me a hater,
But he
but
kept it on his own.
I did keep it on my own. Yeah. Well, do you think somebody wanted this in the grab bag? No. No, nobody would want this in the grab bag. But if you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I met CJ locally. We go to a lot of local wrestling shows. We love wrestling. We love talking wrestling. We love sharing our love of pro wrestling with each and every one of you out there. Nick and EZ do send their opinions, but they're both a little busy tonight. They may join later, not so sure. But they did send me a few things they wanted me to say to the chat, but that's neither here nor there. Uh, like all of you out there, we're not insiders. We're just fans, and we avoid insider terms because at the end of the day, we're not insiders, we're not wrestlers. We are just marks, and we have some prizes. We have things in the prize family to give away. Let me wait for a few more people to show up. Might be no one showing up this week. Everybody's just gonna see the shirt and be all like, "I'm not coming." Meh,
Done.
meh. Uh, yeah, I want to come see this. But yeah, so
Well, if you don't, because when you bend down a little bit, you can't see the whole sucks part. So sometimes you could
yeah,
like CM
CM,
Punk shucks.
CM Punk shucks.
Shucks. CM Punk is back.
Yeah,
Shucks.
shucks. Oh shucks. CM Punk sucks. He like takes like his drink of his bottle of water like this Indianapolis Motor Speedway bottle. And he sucks the Pepsi out of it. That's what he does.
True.
Um, but yeah. So we ran a contest for SummerSlam. We had a distinguished top three. Michael Rodriguez, who entered on Facebook, he got third place. Caleb Carter, who entered on Facebook, got second. And first prize is Patrick Brandmeyer, who entered on Instagram. Those are your top three. Thank you to everyone who entered. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened. There was one thing in particular that pissed off a lot of people. So yeah, first let's draw prizes. And oh, crud! I need the comic books.
Hmm.
The comic books are not here. Hold on. I must go rally and find the comic books. There you go. These were all stashed away for. These were all stashed away. Now everybody got a good look at the T-shirt. But Michael, thank you for entering. And your comic book that you have won is. Oh, I see Patrick's in the house, Miss Ace. Yeah, what's his name? I don't know. According to this T-shirt, he sucks. You win a Superman Worlds of War issue 2. So that'll be your comic book. And Caleb, you win as far as comic books. You win a Batman the Max Arkham Dreams issue 5. So there's that. Congratulations. And you also get a loose figure. A Kurt Angle figure.
Yay!
And we'll keep the figures out. So Patrick, your figure that you have won for placing first is a Seth Rollins figure, and that's rather poignant based on the match he had this past Sunday or Saturday. I feel weird saying SummerSlam's on Saturday, but yeah, so awesome. And Patrick's comic book will be X-Men X of Swords, number 14. And that's not all. Well, first of all, Patrick also wins these wonderful shot glass in this awesome Daily Planet comic book cover. Burn it down. Yeah, Caleb. Oh, Caleb's in here now. Caleb, these are your. You won a Batman comic and Kurt Angle. All right, so time to get to the DVDs. Patrick wins a The Rise of Generation Next Ring of Honor DVD. We've got a lot of good matches on this. You got Roderick Strong versus Alex Shelley, Austin Aries versus Alex Shelley, Austin Aries versus CM somebody or other. Steel Cage Warfare, Generation Next versus the Embassy. So yeah, that's a hell of a DVD set there, and got to get your T-shirt. Your T-shirt is a Sin Cara T-shirt. Remember Sin Cara? He had a T-shirt.
I didn't know he had merch.
He had a rather infamous piece of merch back in the day.
Well, that's true.
And since you did beat me, you do win the bonus prize. And your bonus prize is a Conan autograph picture. All right. And, before I forget, you also win, because it's rather poignant right now, a copy of The Death of WCW by R.D. Reynolds and Brian Alvarez. So you also get this one. So, yeah, Patrick, definitely going to have to give you those at one of these Minoru Suzuki shows that are coming up in our area. Oh, boy, I'm almost not even focused on this show with the news that, knock on wood, we're getting Davey Richards and Minoru Suzuki in the area. So, yeah, thank you everyone for playing. We will be doing another one of these in a couple of weeks, or next week. Next week for All Out. So, yeah, definitely re-enter for your chance to win. And, yeah, Caleb, you missed your prize. Okay, yep, got everybody taken care of. Thank you all. And so SummerSlam. This was a mixed bag of a show and a half, but overall, I think it was a decent pay per view. What say you?
Well, I just hung up on you, so
You did?
yeah, it like my phone just shut down, but I'm back. So
Okay, so SummerSlam was a mixed bag of a show. What say you?
it happened.
It happened, yes.
It happened. That was a thing that happened.
Uh, I'm distracted by trying to find a protector for Patrick's autograph
I can
that
see
he
that
won.
now.
Yeah,
Um,
got to make sure this stuff is protected.
it's kind of interesting that under the Peacock era, we don't get how many people watched their pay-per-views, I guess you could call them, anymore. We just get if they were very good numbers. So in this case, SummerSlam did really, really good numbers. It was like 50% higher than 2019 and the 30% higher than 2020 viewerships overall. And it was the highest viewed SummerSlam ever. And they really had a big press conference about that in their record setting number of announcements that they made publicly this month, because
Right.
that's another thing that WWE had to be a big on top of. Since everybody else had big announcements, they had to make the most big announcements this week.
Yeah, they gotta make sure that, hey,
We didn't have the best, but we had the most.
yeah, we're and that's all that really matters. We're making money, so AEW, even with CM Punk, they're gonna fizzle out. We're the WWE. We're great. So I mean,
Well,
I don't know. Overall, it was a thing that happened. I will say there's one legitimate match of the year contender on. Maybe not. Maybe match of the year contenders. Too Strong Bit's probably like in my top 10 right now. That happened on the show. They had another really good, and that would be the Edge versus Seth Rollins match. They had a really good match for the Raw Women's title, and the main event was good. It's kind of more about moments than actual in-ring product, but I'm not gonna take that away from how hard Roman and Cena worked. And then the ending with Brock, I mean, they got the hot hand. Like that is something that that's something that I want to see down the road.
Paul Heyman on a pole match.
No, Vince Russo doesn't work there. Yeah, Caleb's right. Edge versus Rollins was amazing. But overall, like outside of those matches, like it was like 3 home runs, 1 Grand Slam home run, and then like a bunch of, you know, strikeouts and getting thrown out the plate. Like, we're making a moment, bro. Are you sure?
That is Stephanie's big line. She's like, we make entertainment and we make moments. She's got another buzzword she likes to use in her marketing campaigns too, and I can't remember what it is now.
Oh well, it'll come to you.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah, not a bad show. Like, definitely not anything that I definitely those 3 matches. Even if you're a cynical anti WWE person like me, I was flat and saying I don't really much care for the WWE anymore. But even somebody like me that doesn't much care for the WWE anymore can definitely, if you take your fuck the WWE blinders off for just tonight, you can appreciate the wrestling there.
Except don't watch the SmackDown women's match if you want to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And we'll transition to that part because this is the part that made me go like, fuck. Like, everything else is good, but this is like a beautiful painting, but then like somebody just like decide to puke on the painting, and then they didn't even try to wipe the puke off and like repaint where the puke was. They're just like going, fuck it, it's fine. Puke can stay there. And that was the SmackDown Women's Title match. That this fucked everybody in the in the contest because, yeah, no. So Bianca Belair, who I don't dislike Bianca, but she's not my favorite wrestler in the world. Um, wasn't gonna wrestle Sasha Banks in the WrestleMania rematch, so they had Becky Lynch just come out and squash Bianca Belair, and she won the SmackDown Women's title.
Well, and to kind of make it worse, because I went back and I watched after the fact that Go Home SmackDown, uh, they had Bianca beat Zelina Vega and Carmella back to back pretty handily. They only gave Zelina like one or two moves of like actual offense before she got pinned. So like you just killed three of your talent in one fail swoop
Mm-hmm.
with that move. And the other point to that is that Sasha signed the contract, Bianca signed the contract, but then Carmella got to wrestle. But then if you hit somebody and throw them out of the ring before the match starts, you can take their spot and it's totally fine and it counts.
Right.
So in the future, contract signings mean nothing because they did that with John Cena now. They did that with Sasha now. Like they mean nothing. Don't ever do them again.
Right. Yeah, Caleb's right. It really makes you hate Becky Lynch, something we all thought was impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Becky was maybe other than Thunder Rosa and Britt, probably my favorite female wrestler, and yeah, I have no interest in seeing Becky Lynch anymore. Like they killed Becky Lynch, they killed Bianca Belair, and I just really want to quote Kenan Thompson whenever I saw that happen, because I a little bit of backstory. We missed this live. We watched it later on, and just gonna quote Kenan from Kenan Kel. Why? Just why? Why couldn't you just like Becky could have won? Just make it a competitive match. Like you could have hyped up that Bianca wasn't ready for Becky Lynch. She was prepared for Sasha. So Becky, being great, was able to take advantage of that. Why couldn't we have had at least have it last 5-10 minutes?
Well, why would you even, without a build, do that match? Because uh, Bianca was over. People like Bianca Belair. They
That
got
was
behind
literal.
her.
That was counter programming to CM Punk.
Yeah, but
That's
you
all
could
that
have
was.
booked a bet. Like you could have booked that match for your next show and hyped it up, and you probably would have gotten even more views on your next show. And you can tout all those numbers out next month or in November, wherever you want to do that match. You could build to it because people would have logged on or gotten a Peacock account. God rest their souls for getting a Peacock account, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
And watch that match. Like that was a money match that you just spoiled in 30 seconds.
Yeah. I know. Unless they're really trying to turn Becky bad, I really, really, really don't get it. I just kind of goes to show you.
I think Becky was rushed back because of CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
personally, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
use Zelina Vega or
Have her smash Carmella again. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, that never
Do a
gets old.
30-second squash match. Have Becky come out at the end and be like, yeah, so that wasn't my title that I'd never lost. I did technically lose that title, but I want that one back.
Right. Going to NXT Takeover. This was a good show. I didn't love it. But it had again another match that's probably going to be in my top 10, or at least it's in my top 10 now as it stands, and that is the NXT UK title match with Walter versus Ilya Dragunov, and yeah, the impossible has happened. Walter has lost.
The ring general has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was my favorite match.
Of the year, or
Favorite.
just
It's really, really high up there of the year, but it definitely was of the weekend.
yeah.
Of all.
Yeah, I could say it's the best match of the weekend, arguably. You know, I mean, I could see people would have. I think it was the best match of the weekend, but I could see the case if somebody said Edge and Seth. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I have an odd investment in Walter. It there's no like logical reason for it. I just do. It's just there.
Just
Which doesn't make a lot of sense since he lost, but that whole I've been paying attention to that whole saga, and so that was, if more people in the United States had actually, the first match that they had, if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. This match was equally great. Like that whole, just the whole back and forth of them, the little build-ups they did on the regular NXT was good. Ilya Dragunov did a really good match with Roderick Strong. He's
it's
he's just a really, really, really good wrestler.
just a shame Nick isn't here to talk about Roderick
Yeah.
Strong. Um,
You're like, what?
yeah, I know. It's just this was. I mean, I know he's got family duties, but Nick, this was your chance to really share your love about Roderick Strong, and it's it's gone now. It's gone. You're not gonna be able to talk about Roderick Strong ever again on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all going to the ring czar now.
Yep. Uh, Walter, yes, he does in more ways than one. Walter slaps.
Yeah.
Zelina is an attractive woman, and she's an okay in the ring wrestler, but I'd rather have seen her in 5 minutes, lose to Bianca and then have the moment of Becky coming back than Becky just come back and ruin Bianca. Um, uh, yeah, Cole and Kyle really didn't do much for me. I do think it was a rather strong win for O'Reilly because I feel like they're kind of point blank saying, hey, Adam Cole ain't shit. He's leaving. He sucks. Like, he sucks.
He's
Which
gone.
that's what you're supposed to do. And Jill winning was a nice surprise, but they're already burying Karrion Kross. So, yeah, it's like. But it was to me like it felt like kind of one last great takeover before they just really fuck shit up again and let Bruce Pritchard take over. So, yeah, not bad shows. I'm not going to be a hater. I enjoyed both. I don't care what the logo is and what the letters are, but other than a few tidbits which I can catch on YouTube, does it make me want to watch Raw or SmackDown or anything else? No, not really. So let's talk AEW. Let's talk Rampage. Let's talk about the debut that everybody has been talking about. Everybody's been hyped up. It's sold out the arena, the United Center. Biggest comeback, biggest debut in wrestling history. That's right. Kiera Hogan wrestled Jade Cargill in her debut on AEW Rampage, and that tells you something. It was great.
Womp, womp, womp.
No, we're gonna talk about Mr. Punk, Mr. Actually take over the actual hand. It's funny. But CM Punk's return. I mean, I'm not even self-admitted like I don't have the love for CM Punk as some other fans do, but still, objectively speaking, this was fucking huge. This was big. Like, there's no. I'll go on and say this is bigger. This is a bigger moment for AEW than Hogan signing with WCW.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't even hate Hogan like the other half of this conversation, but you know,
Do, do, do.
yeah,
I can admit that that was a big deal. I just
right.
don't. I can't admit the why it was a big deal.
But
The Hogan, the CM Punk, that part I can admit.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, CM Punk. What the fuck? CM Punk. Who's this guy?
You,
Um,
you get the haters all over me, man.
yeah. But no, this was huge. Like, it didn't make me like love CM Punk the way I did in 2011, 2012 all over again. But it made me kind of go like, okay, this is cool. Like, it's cool he's back. It's cool he's gonna help people. This is good for AEW. This is good for wrestling. You know, while
It's good
Punk,
for ice cream
it's
sales.
good for ice cream sales. I'm gonna try and get an ice cream bar when I go to Chicago. Maybe I'll wear this shirt when I get the ice cream bar. Who knows?
I
I don't think it's wise to wear this shirt.
I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's a good decision.
Wear this shirt and a Cardinals hat when I go to Chicago.
Yeah. So you can stand outside and I'll go get the ice cream bar.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can sell the wrapper from the ice cream bar for $60 on eBay.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we could just like let it melt and be like, yeah, it's still totally the ice cream bar and you can sell it for like I think 150 is what the melted ice cream bars are going for.
Oh! Oh! Oh, God!
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
whoever's doing that is watching this, you are a disgusting individual. You are a disgusting individual.
Moreover, why would you purchase a melted ice cream? You can't even eat it, you guys.
Wait a minute. He wasn't purchased, remember? The ice cream bars were on
Well,
CM Punk. You got for free.
no. You can go purchase them from Pretty Cool Ice Cream in Chicago. And I suspect that's what people are doing. But yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they still have some when we get up there. Because definitely gotta get those. But um, anyway, like and I'm not making fun of this guy. I thought like people gave him way too raw of a deal. Because I'm like the guy crying for CM Punk. Like people who made fun of him, fuck you. I'm just gonna say that for the record. You can go fuck yourselves. Um, but I cried when Cody Rhodes beat Nick Aldis and when Kurt Angle retired. So like, I definitely empathize with the fan. He was a big CM Punk fan. This was a huge deal. Uh, the speech was cool. I liked what he said about his wrestling career, even though some has-beens didn't. Bully Ray, sorry, not been feeling very well the last few
Oh,
days.
yeah, cough drop.
Yeah, cough drop and just that dirt from the racetracks just really still bucking
Still
me.
hitting.
Um,
Ugh.
but yeah, but like when a debut is so good from AEW that even Jim Cornette can't even find a reason to bitch and go like, yeah, this is perfect. Like, they're doing something right, but we have two has-beens, one I respect and one I do not, that say it's bad because he made fun of WWE, which I'll have CM Punk's back to the end on that. See, CM Punk has every right to make fun of WWE. They misdiagnosed his illness and never gave him time off, so
Yeah, if anybody has the card that says like I can make veiled comments about WWE, I think that he holds it.
mhm.
Most people are when they're alluding to WWE and why they left it are making references to some of his promos while he was still in the company. So
Right.
when they're talking about those brass rings,
Yeah,
that was a CM Punk quote.
exactly. Punk shirts. Yeah, not gonna
Yeah.
buy one of those. Like, I'm just not. No. I'm looking forward to his match with Darby. I feel like I believe in CM Punk's mission statement. I believe in like the words that he spoke, and it kind of put my fears of him kind of jumping the line to the world title over a lot of these guys. It put them at ease. So I'll give Punk that, but you know, you know, God bless the guy that was moved to tears by it. I heard Tony Khan found the guy and they're gonna give him a meet and greet, with Punk, which is fucking cool. Um, but excuse me if I just didn't have the same reaction as that guy. I appreciate it, and you know, looking forward to how he's gonna help AEW and help the company grow. And you know, nothing about this is bad. Just maybe not. I'm not as pumped up. You know, it's like Iron Man. You know, I appreciate Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but forgive me if I wasn't moved to tears when he said "I love you 5,000." Sorry, but it was still a powerful moment. I can concede. But yeah, so there was that on Rampage. Um, there was the aforementioned Jade Cargill, Kara Hogan. Jurassic Express and Private Party had a hell of a match. Really wish that was on Dynamite, which we'll get more on why I wish a lot of things were on Dynamite a little later. And main event, Jon Moxley defeated Daniel Garcia. Really digging Daniel Garcia. Really, really digging Daniel Garcia now. This is a great match. I really liked it.
Yeah, that was a solid match.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I appreciated the fact that even though it was an hour long, it wasn't like just, well, here's CM Punk and nothing else.
Right. But they did it. They did it absolutely right. Like we were even talking about this at the NASCAR race that we were at going right before the during the event when we were trying to catch it on Sling while the race was going on. Like they did everything right having Punk come out first. Because if you would have put Punk in the main event, like people would have shit all over Kara Hogan and Jade Cargill or Jurassic Express versus Private Party, because they'd just be like, okay, Punk, we need Punk, get them pumped up, give the people what they want, come for Punk, stay for the rest of the talent. And I feel like AEW did that exceptionally well. And there's Cabe's glad Rampage is an hour 15-minute squash matches like Dark is. Yeah, I agree. So you know how we talked about how well Rampage did and was, and how like it's good, and even things that are admittedly not my favorite people were awesome and well done and all that thing. Yeah. Well, now it's time for a lesson in failed capitalization and mediocrity, also from AEW on Dynamite this week. So the first match was Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy, and Nick couldn't be here, but we talked about this last night as the show was going on. He said, the Lapsed fans are back. Maybe start this show with Varsity Blondes versus the Lucha Bros, which I definitely agree with that statement, but I can also counterpoint with, hey, you've got Lapsed fans back. Why don't you showcase one of your hottest homegrown acts in Orange Cassidy and showcase him in a win over a legendary former WWE wrestler in Matt Hardy. So I feel like you could go right with either one of them. I definitely understand and appreciate Nick's point of view, but that's mine, and I feel like there's no real wrong answer with that. It wasn't terrible, but I'm sorry, I like Matt. I like him better in multi-man matches and as a manager now than I do in singles. I'm sorry, and I like Matt Hardy. I'm one of the few people in the world that always like Matt more than Jeff, and just not taking him in a singles role right now.
He just really hasn't found, I don't think he's found his footing. Like, since he's left the broken Matt character, he's looking for the next thing. I don't think he's found it.
Right.
The Hardy Family Office just really doesn't do it for me.
I like that it gives people something to do, but yeah, it's not my favorite. Yeah, Dynamite was odd. You're being nicer than I am, Patrick.
It was different. I guess on all the matches on that card, this probably like I know we talked about that probably shouldn't have been the opener. It should have been another match, but all, in terms of like all the other matches on this card, like that was the more normal one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably not a good statement because all the rest, it was very dark esque.
Yes, very, very dark-esque. So the next segment we have Chris Jericho, who kind of uh, did what we all kind of thought he was going to do, but they threw enough red herrings and having a bunch of just shit happen on Rampage that, you know, thought maybe they would just not have it. But we will have Jericho versus MJF with Chris Jericho's career on the line. Excuse me. At All Out. And finally, a match that I'm kind of emotionally invested in a little bit. You know, CM Punk Darby is going to be a great match, but I don't have the emotional attachment in it. Kenny and Christian proved it'll be a great match, but I feel like I don't have any emotional attachment into that one. You know, they're just it's a, in my opinion, this is still a outside of CM Punk, which again, not my dude. It's a very very weak ass card, but this match is something that there are some stakes that I'm attached to, and it is the one match that's going to make this, you know, definitely worth the drive. Like the
Yeah.
Briscoe Brothers body shop, worth the drive. Only true Attitude Era OGs get that reference. Um, so you have that. Next match is Varsity Match of the Night. Not that like it had a lot. It was a great match, but it's not like it had a whole hell of a lot of competition. Varsity Blondes versus the Lucha Bros. This should have been the main event. As far
It
as
should
I'm
have been
like,
the
this should have
event.
been the main event. Like, I do not understand why they made the match that they made the main event. More on that later. But yeah, it's kind of I get that, Patrick. You know that and it's not like it was a bad call, but I feel like, hey, let the Punk interests carry the show, and then bring a stacked card undercard too. It's like there's no
Yeah,
losing.
that's
Like there's no losing there. Now it's kind of like you have a special edition of Dynamite with CM Punk. Like that's what All Out feels like to me, and they do not have enough time to change that unless they like fucking bring Stone Cold back in The Rock, and yeah, no.
and we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. I think Matt hit the ceiling when he was woken in WWE. I agree with that to an extent. I really liked when he was kind of with the Elite last year. I thought there was a lot more meat on the bone to him kind of being the elder statesman kind of in the Elite. But obviously it's that's over with. So yeah, but this match was great. Should have been the main event. Jurassic Express versus Lucha Bros for Shot the Bucks on Rampage, and again, like that's cool. That's gonna be a great match at the pay per view. But it's kind of one of those. It's like I already know the Young Bucks are gonna win. You know what I mean? Like I already know the Young Bucks are gonna win. So
Well, I hope they win.
you hope they win over. Well, you know they gotta lose to Reynolds and Silver. So
As
next
much as I
match.
love that, that looks like it's not happening. We'll talk about that later.
Well, we'll talk about that now. So there was a interview with the Dark Order where there's friction with the Dark Order, and yeah, I'm kind of hoping this isn't a full-on breakup. I feel like the Dark Order would be if there's one. Every wrestling stable has a breakup. I feel like if there's one stable that would turn, if it turned out that they all worked shit out, the Dark Order would be that stable. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be the
Yeah.
one where they have a happy, hey, we're all still friends, and they go on.
I'm hoping that it has something to do with Hangman's like rise back up for Full Gear, but I don't have super high hopes. I feel like they kind of are like, okay, well, we don't have anything left for them, so now we're just gonna break them up, and worse, it's gonna happen with Reynolds and Silver first, and that was the tag team. That was the tag team that I thought would beat the Young Bucks. That would be like super fantasy booking on my part.
Right.
So
And Miro called out Eddie Kingston. That doesn't seem like that's going to be a match on All Out. So, Philly. Got a trios match. Had Darby, Moxley, and Kingston beat a bunch of enhancement guys. Cool way to get them all on the show. Cool way to get the crowd to say Wild Thing. I'm never going to complain about seeing Eddie Kingston in anything. Good way to get Sting on the show. But yeah. And then Danny Garcia, something like it. This was just like this was something that you could have done. Like, this was just a throwaway thing. Like, I get it. Got to set up storylines. Got to set up matches, but yeah. Kenny Omega segment where they beat up Christian. Okay. Here's where I'm gonna get lynch mob, but I'm gonna stand by my opinion. Jon Moxley was backstage talking about who from New Japan was gonna step up to sign the contract. Then I'm here thinking it's gonna be like Minoru Suzuki or somebody big, and it's Satoshi Kojima. I'm let down. I'm sorry. I know Kojima's a legend. I know he's great. I know this might be a good match, but like that's a fucking letdown. I don't give a shit what anyone says.
yeah, this is your wheelhouse, is not mine.
It's just like, to me, like for people that don't follow New Japan, to me this is like the equivalent of like if one like Naito or Okada or Tanahashi, one of New Japan's top stars, said, AEW for Wrestle Kingdom, send me your best, and they sent like Big Show or Dustin Rhodes. Like, it may not be a bad match. It may be a good talent. In the case of Dustin, it may be something that could really surprise you. But it's like that's who you picked. Not don't let Moxley and Suzuki fucking go at it. No, don't let that be fun. No, we can't be having that. No. Okay, Kojima. Okay, cool. The guy who hasn't done anything of any relevancy in 4 years. Neato. That's neat. Cool. That's great. I mean, I get why why Tanahashi, they need him back in Japan, but like, Minoru Suzuki is in the United States right now. He's here.
All over the place.
Yeah, he's gonna be everywhere. Like, I'm not gonna complain about 10,000 being able to go Kazanina Ray with 10,000 people. Like that's gonna be great. But like just Kojima, you went with Coach. Okay, okay then.
Maybe it's a swerve.
No, this wouldn't be a swerve. It'll be a good match, but it'll be like, I'm another hot take. Just because New Japan sends somebody over doesn't mean it's good. I know Forbidden Doors are fucking like, yeah, I know. For Forbidden Doors seem like, they're a real hot button, and people, I feel like the New Japan product as a whole, like, there's a lot of people that don't follow New Japan, and I'm not saying you have to, but there's a lot of people that don't follow New Japan. They hear a Japanese wrestler's name, and they're like, well, this is going to be great because he's from Japan, he's from New Japan, he's going to be great. It's like, yeah, he's going to be a good wrestler, but like, it doesn't mean it's going to be like the best thing ever. And I don't know. Kojima's a legend. But I'm not feeling this in the slightest. So we have the Gun Club versus the Factory, and QT Marshall loses because that's a good way to fucking. Like, I'm not saying QT Marshall has to win anything.
Well, but you should probably have him beat
An enhancement talent when he's got a fucking match on a pay-per-view. Even if it's a foregone conclusion that he's losing that fucking match, yes. Or don't put his fucking ass, and don't put Paul White's ass on the fucking show, or TV for that matter. This is I am a Big Show Paul White. I think Big Show's great. I think he's probably the greatest, even better than Andre. He can work better than Andre, but I don't want to see him at All Out. This is dumb, stupid. Whatever. Dan Lambert backstage with his tag team. Okay.
I like that match. I like him with Ethan Page.
Yeah, that's good. I just kind of, to me, like, though, since he's an MMA guy, like, I figured he'd be with more MMA based talent. That's my only gripe.
They kind of are.
But I mean, like, a little bit more blatantly MMA, if that makes sense. I mean, like, I'll give it a shot, but still.
Like, what would your suggestion be of the roster?
I don't know. Maybe wait till you have somebody like that and then bring Dan Lambert in.
Well, they needed a better mouthpiece.
I mean, like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that when I think mixed martial arts and legit fighters and things like that, which is what Dan Lambert's about, you know, he's an MMA coach, I don't think Ethan Page. And I like Ethan Page, but I don't think Ethan Page. All right. And yeah, Solo and Daniel Garcia. Patrick has it right on the nose. Yeah, exactly. Right there. Boom. Maybe sign after his match with Suzuki and Gloria Pro. Sign Davey Richards. Actually, no, don't do that. I love him being in St. Louis for all these shows. All of them more than. Unless he's still allowed to do St. Louis stuff, don't sign Davey Richards. Main event: Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson. This was a glorified squash. I mean, it was good because it got Malachi over as a cold-hearted monster. He beat up Brock Anderson. He beat up Arn Anderson. Hey, that's great.
Did it get him anywhere? Because that crowd was dead silent.
The crowd sucked. The crowd didn't care. The main event should have been Varsity Blondes and the Lucha Bros. This was a bad fucking call. Again, this was like the AEW equivalent of this is going to have some irony here. They have one of the biggest wins of the season, and they hang 40 points on the Cubs, and they have all the momentum, and then they, you know, are playing fucking the Pirates, and it takes them 20 innings to beat the Pirates, and the only reason they won is because the Pirates walked 4 batters in a row. That's what we got from AEW after that. And I'm gonna probably piss CM Punk off even more comparing his win to his debut to the Cardinals squashing the fucking sucks. I mean the Cubs.
Well, he doesn't like the Cubs.
CM Punk's a huge Cubs fan.
No, he's a White Sox fan.
When I met, I'll go there. He's wearing a Cubs hat when I met him.
He might be wearing a Cubs hat. He's a White Sox fan.
He said he cried when the Cubs won the World Series. In
he's
defense
a
of the
Chicago
fan.
person, but he's a White Sox fan.
Okay. I've always heard the opposite about Punk. I've always heard he's a diehard Cubs fan, him and Colt.
Hmm.
But yeah, this was not a good episode of Dynamite. This was. I'll even go as far to say as outside of one match, I'll go so far as to say the show sucked. We forgot about CM Punk's interview, which was like
the same thing that we heard on
Rampage. The same thing we heard on Rampage. The only thing he didn't do was take the mic away from Tony.
Good on him.
Like this, I'll go as far as to say this show sucked.
We forgot about the Red Velvet match too.
It happened.
It happened.
And that's about all I'm going to say about that.
That you expected to be a squash.
And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying you don't need, but it's like, this was a fumble. I mean, like, they've got enough momentum that's not going to hurt them. Like, too bad, but it was definitely not how you capitalize on wrestling business trajectory momentum. That's for sure. So, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, Rampage is better.
Well, they taped Rampage this week.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's no spoilers that have been...
There are.
Oh.
There are.
Lovely.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week. And, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Congratulations to Patrick, Caleb, and Michael for winning. And thank you all for joining our contest. Be sure to enter next week for our all-out predictions contest. And I think I'll just go and reveal one of the special prizes that we're going to have for the all-out predictions contest. So it's maybe a little melancholy, but it's still kind of neat. It is the Dave Meltzer Tributes book. It's the tributes that he wrote for various wrestlers: Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, Rick Rude, Andre the Giant, Bruiser Brody, Fritz Von Erich, Kerry Von Erich, Yokozuna, Junkyard Dog, Giant Baba, Buddy Rogers, John Studd, Ray Stevens, Louis Piccoli, Art Barr, Eddie Gilbert, Boris Malenko, Dino Bravo, Jumbo Serta, and Gordon Soley. It's a cool little book, regardless of how you feel about Dave Meltzer, and there's even more in here. Lots of cool pictures, highlights of these gentlemen's careers. It's just a neat little book to have, and not only do you win the normal stuff, but you also get this book. So be sure to enter for your chance to win that. Go follow CJ at
CJ Team All Zeros.
Team All Zeros. And if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comics, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Be sure to check out this week's Geeking Out podcast. It is me and the two people that were not part of the show today, watching along the very first wrestling event I remember, WrestleMania 10. It's part 1 of that. Part 2 will drop next Wednesday. And also, next week, the live stream will be on Wednesday, immediately following Dynamite, because CJ and I will be attending Stride Pro Wrestling at Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. So if you're from the area, come say hi. Come check out some baseball and some wrestling. And yeah, if you enjoyed, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content. Follow me on social media. Facebook.com/AthleticGeekA9, Twitter Athletic_GeekA9, Instagram AthleticGeekA9. And if you'd like to, you got a hole burn in your pocket and would like to waste some money by giving it to me to buy a nicer camera or some better lights or something, I am on Patreon, patreon.com/AthleticGeekA9. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Oh, before I forget, Easy did mention his thoughts, but I feel like I'll let him, if he's in the show next week, I'll let him give his own thoughts on CM Punk. I feel like he's earned that right to be able to talk about it in his own words. But other than that, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Later. Ugh.